So if you're watching this video, there's a reason that you're here. You didn't stumble upon this video on accident. There's a reason that you're here. So I hope and pray that this message resonates with you. So you're being called to start aligning yourself with the life that you desire. And how do you do that? I'm gonna tell you how to do that based off my own personal experiences, but also based on the things that I learned from being a psych major. So I'm going to be using Carl Rogers' theory as my basis for explanation. So Carl Rogers was an American psychologist, and his theory basically states that humans have an innate tendency towards growth in order to reach our highest potential. So he says that for a healthy individual, you have a self-concept. So basically how you see yourself is aligned with your ideal self. So you see yourself realistically and accept yourself as you are right now, even if you're striving towards growth. So the opposite of that is an unhealthy individual who has a big gap between their self-concept, so how they see themselves now, versus their ideal self. So there's a big gap in the middle between these two concepts. And for a healthy individual, there's an overlap. There's not a big gap. If you have a big gap between your self-concept and who you desire to be, this is going to manifest as low self-esteem, and with low self-esteem we have those low vibrational emotions such as confusion, insecurity. You get the point, okay? So my point of making this video is to offer some guidance to someone who considers themselves as the unhealthy individual. And I say unhealthy in quotation marks because I don't know, I feel like the word unhealthy is too heavy. I don't know, maybe not. So if you're someone who experiences a big gap between who you are right now and who you want to be, then this video is for you. So the first step to bridging this gap is going to be isolation. And isolation doesn't always equate to loneliness, but I'm not gonna lie to you. When you take this first step, you will be lonely. You will. And it's going to suck. It's going to suck so bad. But trust me, this is where the magic happens. Trust me, okay? So the goal of isolation is to get rid of distractions and to tune in with yourself and get to know yourself. And when I say isolation, I don't mean shut out everything and everyone out of your life. I just mean take time to yourself to really be alone. And that can be literally like 10 minutes to start with. 10 minutes every single day. But if you're starting with this, like, you don't even have to do it every day. 10 minutes once a week, that's all you need. And just slow down and tune in with yourself. So no music, no Netflix playing in the background. Okay? Just quiet, just stillness. And then another thing that you're gonna need is like a journal or something that you can write on, okay? So take your pencil, take your pen, get a paper, get a book, and you're just gonna start writing, okay? If you don't know where to start, use the resources that are available to us right now. So you can use ChatGPT. I know we all have different opinions of AI, but that's not the point of this video. What I'm trying to say is just use the resources that are available to us right now. So you can literally go on Google or Pinterest or ChatGPT and search up journaling prompt for insecurity, journaling prompt for loneliness, whatever that you're feeling. Search up journaling prompt. You are going to find something, I guarantee you, and then use that as a guidance and just start writing. I think the hardest part is to start writing because you're like, what do I write? Just answer the journaling prompt and things are gonna start to flow. And then this experience, this is me telling you how things are gonna just come out of you. And things are just gonna, things are just gonna flow. As you're writing this, keep in mind that this is for you. You're not giving it to anyone to read, so be honest with yourself. Be honest with your thoughts. These thoughts that you would never share with anyone because maybe they're too vulnerable. This is just for you. So be honest with yourself, okay? Confront yourself. Confront your fears and your desires and your insecurities and whatever it is that you're feeling. Confront it, but be honest with yourself. By doing this is how you're going to notice the patterns that are hindering you from reaching the highest version of yourself. This is what shadow work is. It's looking at things that have control over you, but in a negative way. When negative emotions start having control over you, this is how you can start spiraling. Spiraling, and this is such a dangerous zone to be in because this is how you can end up in depression. That's why doing shadow work is really important. It's hard and it's painful because you're facing things that have hurt you. You're facing people that have hurt you for years, and for the first time you're trying to train yourself to see with this, but also to look at it in a way that you're in control. Like, you're gonna face your fears and you're gonna face it from an empowered point of view, and you're gonna tell your fears, you don't have control over me anymore. Okay? Are there people who you need to forgive even though they hurt you? That's the hardest part. That's the hardest part. But you're not forgiving them for them. You're forgiving them for you. It's so that you can let go. You can let go of this heaviness that you have. Like when you're holding resentment over someone, that's a heavy freaking feeling. That's such a heavy feeling. And when you forgive that person, you're not saying that what they did to you is okay. What you're saying is, I'm forgiving you because I'm choosing to let this go. I'm choosing to let this pain go. And once you start doing that, you're literally training yourself to not let other people have control over you. Even if someone does something to you, I'm not saying be all love and light. No, I don't believe in that. But what I'm saying is, if someone does something that hurts you, you're gonna be able to look at them and be like, and move on, But if they need to be confronted, confront them. But you're not gonna be like so consumed with emotion, right? Because you're in control. They're not gonna have power to control you. In these journaling exercises, also look at your past circumstances, your present, and where you want to go. So for your past circumstances, what happened in your childhood? What happened a year ago? What happened that made you feel alone? What made you feel abandoned? What made you feel hurt? Sit with those emotions, and a lot of anger might come up. Actually, not might, it will. A lot of anger will come up because you're gonna start remembering people who did you dirty. You're gonna feel anger and sadness, and tears are going to be shed, but that's okay because this is how we're gonna purge. And by purging, we're releasing all of this negative emotions only for us to feel lighter, which is the ultimate goal. In your present, look at the mindsets, the habits. How are you living your life right now? And are you okay with how you're living your life right now? Or are there things that you can change? Are there people that you need to cut off? And that's like a sensitive topic, especially in today's world, because a lot of people just be cutting people off left, right, center instead of actually having that conversation with them. But if you truly know that someone is not meant for you, you're gonna know. You're gonna know. You don't need to ask someone, or it's not gonna be something that's confusing. If you feel like there's a person in your life right now, it could be your best friend. That's what sucks. It could be the person closest to you right now, but there's just something inside of you that's telling you, this person is not meant for me. It's going to freaking hurt to even think about cutting them off. But if you know, and this is not about you thinking, this is about you knowing, it's that innate, it's like an internal thing, right? If you know that if you cut this person out of your life is going to be brighter, you need to do it. You need to do it. And this goes back to what I said earlier about isolation doesn't always equate to loneliness, but it will sometimes lead to loneliness. This is where the loneliness is going to kick in, because at least from my own experiences, I realized that a lot of people that I had in my life were there based on circumstances. And what do I mean by that? These are people that were in my life because we went to the same school together, we were neighbors or whatever, And some of them were people that I chose because there was a part of me that needed validation. Maybe there was a part of me that needed love. There was a part of me that needed something that this person can offer me, but it's coming from a place where I'm depending on their love. And we don't want to choose people or choose things from that mindset. That's a lack mindset. We want to choose people because, you know what, I like you and you align with the qualities that I like in a friend, in a partner, or whatever. And that's why I want you in my life. I don't want to choose you based off I feel lonely, therefore I'm going to accept this friendship because I'd rather be with you rather than be alone. We don't want to do that no more, okay? And it's going to be hard. If that's how you've been operating, it's going to be hard, but you taking these steps to actually just even realize who deserves to be in your life and who doesn't, this is you doing the work. This is you taking the steps to move intentionally. And in this period of isolation, this is when you're going to also start asking yourself, what are your likes? What are your dislikes? And it could be something like as simple as your aesthetic. I know that sounds very superficial, but bro, like getting to know yourself is getting to know literally everything about yourself. So how you want to express yourself. And you can express yourself through clothing or through your words. Like that's the only way you're going to learn who you are to your core. You're going to learn how your body responds to certain things. For example, for me, just like a small example, like I felt called to change my diet. I felt called to just stop eating meat. There was like nothing that happened that made me want to stop eating meat, but I felt something in my body that just meat couldn't agree with me anymore. And once I made that decision to cut out meat from my life, I literally felt lighter, and I'm not even joking. And people who don't eat meat, if you don't eat meat right now, you know what I'm talking about. You literally feel lighter. And I don't know how else to explain it, but that's something that I felt called to do. That's something that my body called me to do. And the only way that I could realize that is because I tuned in with my body. So, learning your likes, your dislikes, your wants, your needs, your boundaries, all of the stuff. You're going to work on that in this isolation period. And again, it doesn't have to be taxing. It could be 10 minutes every week. And once you start doing this, you're going to realize how your life is going to start changing. You're going to be naturally making decisions that you weren't making a week ago, a month ago, because this is you aligning with your new timeline. And when it comes to people, I know I mentioned this before, but when it comes to people and you just feel like you and a certain someone are not clicking the same anymore, this is because you're elevating to a different timeline, and some people are just not meant to be in your life forever, okay? Some people are meant to be in your life in that season of your life. Some people are not going to elevate with you, and that's okay, because everyone is on their own path, okay? Sometimes, like, you will notice your relationships starting to feel a little different. Maybe the way that you relate with each other is a little different. You're going to stop being friends with some people just naturally like that. Like, it's not that something happened. And then others, it could be maybe you asserted a boundary for the first time and these people did not respect your boundary. When somebody violates your boundary, if you care about that person, have that conversation with them, right? And if they violate your boundary again, then ask yourself, is this someone who cares about me? Because if you really truly care for someone and you tell them, hey, you did this and this and this, and this is how it made me feel, I would appreciate if you don't do that again. If it's someone that cares about you, then I'm pretty sure they're going to change their behavior. I would like to think so. Yeah, another example is if, let's say, you used to be friends with people who love to gossip about other people, and now that you want to change and be a different person, you don't desire to be around people who do that, and you don't desire to be a person who talks about other people. Do you really think that you can be friends with the same people and keep elevating? You can't, because you are who you surround yourself with, right? We've heard this saying so many times, and it's so true. So that's why you want to align and choose people who align with who you are becoming. And if that leaves you with one friend, if that leaves you with no friend, trust me when I say this, it's going to be okay. You know why? Because at first, being isolated will make you feel lonely, but once you get into the feeling of just being with yourself and getting to know about yourself, you start falling in love with yourself and you start becoming your own best friend. Your perception of isolation changes. It's no longer, oh, I'm feeling lonely, is I feel content with myself and by myself. There's a certain level of peace that also comes with it, because you're not crowded with thoughts and opinions of other people, you know? You're content with yourself. That's the best feeling, because whoever you choose to be in your life is because you want them to be in your life. It's because there's something about them that resonates with who you are and who you are becoming. So you're making a conscious decision to allow them into your life, allowing people into your life. Your life is a blessing. You are a blessing. Therefore, be picky with the people that you choose to be in your life, okay? Because if you're a blessing, why are you gonna go bless people that don't deserve to be blessed? Wait, everyone deserves to be blessed, but what I'm saying is, like, you're taking the time to get to know yourself, to work on yourself, to do your shadow work, to be the best version of yourself. Why would you want to align yourself with someone who's like, I don't know, people who are rude or selfish or stuff like that? Like, you're not on the same level. Like, this is not about like hierarchy. It's not that. It's just elevating at a different vibrational energy, right? So yeah, to recap, just take 10 minutes out of your day to sit still with yourself. Ask yourself questions. If you don't have anything in mind, go on Google, go on the internet, search up prompts, use those prompts to guide you, and continue to work on yourself, because this is the only way that you're going to align yourself with the life that you desire. So my hope is that this video serves as an inspiration or a reminder to choose yourself, because you are worth it. You are worth it. You are worth it. You are worth it.